you very much, Neil.
I'll come and stand under time to eat. John Noble is here. Hello. Was the now I'd just like you to take a look at John. take a good look at him.
A well-dressed young man.
I was going to say a picture of sartorial elegance.
Yeah.
Dressed from head to toe in clothes that were found in Emmaus. Now what do you think of that?
What Terry doesn't tell you is he's got a whole wardrobe of Emmaus clothes at home.
I think they look, if anyone, excepting shoes.
Yeah, well, you bought a beautiful pair of size 14s, I remember.
No, they're size 60. Yes, it stops you blowing over in the wind. Now, I'm standing on I like all this time for change because it reminds me of a story. When I was in captivity, or when I used to go on hostage missions to secure the release of hostages, I always took with me a watch, a wind-up watch, because I felt that if I was captured, because I always thought there was a chance of being captured, and I was wearing a battery watch, it would fade away, and I wouldn't know the time. But the best laid plans, when I was captured, they took my watch. And there's nothing worse than not knowing the time. You know, when you're sitting chained to the wall in the dark, day in and day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, you have to be able to find a structure for the day. And it reminded me of an unusual story. I was sitting in this underground prison, chained by the hands and feet to the wall, and not knowing whether it was day or night. And I thought, I've got to try and get some structure. You know, because you'd wake up and you'd wonder, was it the middle of the night, was it the day, whatever it was. And then I heard a strange thing. I heard at regular intervals, boom, boom, boom. I thought, what's that? Then I heard it again, you know, boom, boom, boom. And then I worked it out. I was in an underground prison, which was beneath a car park, and above the car park there was an apartment block. And every morning, about 10 o'clock, the women in the apartment block would throw carpets over the banister and beat them. And that noise I heard was the carpets being beaten. And it gave me a pointer for the day, you know, a pointer so that I knew when I heard that noise, that was the morning, and I could begin to structure the day. Now the relationship of that story to Emmaus, I was reminded of it at a sort of time, because Emmaus does help people get a structure to their life. There are lots of places, well not enough, but there are many places where people can go for shelter and get a meal. But places where people can come and stay and find a family and begin to get back into mainstream life are few and far between, very few and far between. I've been talking to a couple of former Emmaus companions who've now got flats of their own. They're here today. There may be more. I've just met two today here, looking wonderfully well, looking very cheerful. One was telling me he got his own flat not far away. He was with Emmaus, one was with Emmaus for 5 years, another for, I'm not sure for how long, but back into life. And I just said, well, you know, always regard Emmaus as your family, because we didn't give you, you gave Emmaus, you gave your time, you gave yourself, you put your contribution to, not just to improving conditions in the locality, but as our MP said, for the wider world, with our solidarity with Emmaus across the world. And were it not for that, well, Emmaus would have been much poorer. So the companions are the heart and strength of Emmaus. Yesterday morning, I think it was yesterday, I was in an Emmaus community in South London, and yesterday they were in fact voting in the House of Lords for the new Speaker. Baroness Hayman has just retired, and the first thing she did after she retired, she came with me to see an Emmaus community in South London and spent the whole morning there looking round.